Hey folks, Alan Saunders, Steve Brenner here from Pittsburgh Sports Now at Walnut Grill in Settlers Ridge. As we do every week, we're talking WPIAL High School football here, set for another big slate of Friday night games here. Season coming to an end. We've got 3 weeks of regular season games left. It seems like it wasn't that long ago. We were just here talking about the very beginning of the season. We'll start as we always do, recapping last week. You were at Central Valley. TJ, huge non-conference win. That was a game we both picked. Just your synopsis of what we took away from that one.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson was really impressive. You know, it's tough to say Central Valley played poorly. It feels more like TJ just had a really good game plan coming into that one. You know, Central Valley wants to be a big play offense, passing, running the ball, and they just couldn't do any of it because of the way TJ's defense played. Now,
when you compare Central Valley to Aliquippa and to maybe some other teams that TJ has had some trouble with in the past, thinking about those games against Cathedral Prep in the state playoffs, that's maybe not at the same level of talent, but that's a similar style of game. Did it feel like that was something TJ was determined to kind of put down, that they could stop that kind of offense?
Yeah, they knew they wanted to contain. You know, I think Central Valley had, it was one pass play that was 50 yards, and that was it throughout the entire game, you know, and if that's the blueprint to beat Central Valley, Aliquippa kind of has that blueprint of playing well up front, you know, with a tough front seven and a tough defensive line. So if that's how you beat Central Valley, there could be a few teams that can do that.
In 6A, we picked Lebo. 6A, 5A game, we picked Lebo, Upper St. Clair. I got on the right with Mount Lebanon. We'll talk both about both of those teams because we're picking both of them again this week. South Fayette over Knock. We both picked North Catholic over Elizabeth Forward, and you had Freedom. I lost with New Brighton in a game that I admitted I didn't know anything about in Beaver County. So we both go 4-1. You're now 20-8 on the season. I'm 18-10. We're not quite experts, but we're in the black.
Yeah, and the season keeps winding down, but it keeps showing that we can't pick games.
Yeah. I mean, I at least got the 6A team right this week.
Well, we're picking another 6A game, so we'll see how that goes.
We have not done as well in Class 6A. Okay, we'll start with USC because that's where you're going to be this week. USC going to Moon, and what has become kind of a big game in that 5A Allegheny 8 conference.
Yeah, when you first look at Upper St. Clair's schedule, they played West A and Woodland Hills in back-to-back games, and you thought, that would be the make-or-break point of the season for them. Won them both, and now all of a sudden the games at the end of the year against teams like Moon and Bethel Park are the ones that are going to determine, conference seedings and playoff seedings and things like that. So, Upper St. Clair took care of the teams they're supposed to. Now it gets real for them all of a sudden against a Moon team who beat Peters Township last week, pretty impressively.
And now, is this another place where we end up with, we've got two of the three legs of a triangle here?
Yeah.
How do you separate those three teams, Peters, Moon, Upper St. Clair, in this classification?
We can't forget about Bethel Park. We need to see them play a few teams first, and then we'll determine that better. But I mean, Upper St. Clair is good at one thing. The quarterback Delham and Pantelis. The quarterback is third in the WPIAL in passing. Pantelis is first in the WPIAL in receiving. It's not even close to second place. But Peters Township is still very diverse on offense. They can run and pass the ball well. We need to see Upper St. Clair be able to do that, especially against a team, a Moon team who held Logan Pfeiffer last week to 74 passing yards. One of the best quarterbacks in the entire WPIAL was 74 yards against a Moon team who had a pick six for a touchdown, and they had 6 sacks as well in that game. So they did really well to shut down one aspect of what they were trying to do.
What do you feel like is the key for Moon in this one? Is it just repeating that defensive performance? And what's their offense going to be like against what's a pretty okay Upper St. Clair defense?
Yeah. I mean, Upper St. Clair's defense is very middle of the pack. But, Moon started a quarterback yesterday, and Tyler McGowan started yesterday in place of Dante Clay. I'm not sure what his status is going to be, but McGowan had a nice night passing ball. He seems more like a game manager, just looking at stats and reading the stories and whatnot. But I mean, the same steady game control offense to supplement that good Moon defense is how they're going to beat Upper St. Clair.
All right, what's your pick in this one?
I like Moon, especially after what that defense did to shut down such a good Peters team. If they can, they might not even practice this week. The game plan might have just been the same, just reuse and recycle. And I like Moon in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you. I think if you can shut down the Peters passing attack while still having to honor that Peters rushing attack.
Right.
And then I don't think Upper St. Clair's offense is as well-rounded. So if you can shut down the Peters passing game, you can shut down the Upper St. Clair passing game. I'm less sure, though, about Moon being able to score on Upper St. Clair's defense. I think their defense is better than Peters is.
Maybe, yeah.
And so I think a low-scoring game, but I think I like Moon.
Yeah, it's last week, Peters, Ryan McGiskey had 120 rushing yards, and I don't know that Upper St. Clair has that. The quarterback is the main runner for the Panthers, so it might be a lot of that, and if it is, is he running for his life? Is he running because he wants to? Is he running because he has to? It's going to be interesting to see how they try and handle him.
All right, the bane of our existence, Class 6A, where we have not done particularly well in our picks. We've got Pine Richland at Mount Lebanon this week. Pine Richland, obviously one of the top 3 teams in this classification. Lebo looking awfully a lot like the 4th best team in this classification. First of all, does this game mean that much? I mean, Lebo does not have I don't know that they have 4th place locked up yet, but it's not looking like it's going to be a tough road for them to get there, and that's really the only important spot for them because they do get that first round game at home.
Right.
But so what does this game matter?
It does if Pine Richland wants to maintain what they're doing. Pine Richland is looking down the barrel at a game against NA at the end of the year. So if Pine Richland wants to win this section, this is how they have to do it. They have to beat Mount Lebanon, take care of business, and keep doing what they're doing in preparation for the NA game.
Yeah, I guess it matters a lot for the regular season title.
If it matters, and
it doesn't. And the seeding doesn't matter as much because by the time you get that far into the postseason, the games become neutral site anyway.
Right.
And so, it doesn't matter if you're the 1 seed or the 2 seed. There's not really any functional difference.
Right, but
you get to hang
that
banner.
But it keeps you interested,
and,
right? Yeah, we like banners in schools for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Lebanon with a win over 5A team in Upper St. Clair. Obviously, not the same kind of opponent as Pine Richland. Can we take anything away from last week? And how about Pine Richland bouncing back from that loss to Central Catholic with a big win over Cannon Mac? Again, it feels like almost neither of those last week's lessons are applicable here.
Right. It's, it means a lot that they're both coming off wins, so they're kind of rounding into form. Mount Lebanon with over 200 rushing yards last week. Not a surprise for a Bob Palco offense, but they'll have 2 quarterbacks. They'll run Wildcat, they'll run traditional quarterback. Joey Daniels is playing well. It seems like this offense is doing a lot of things that are trending upwards to be able to compete with some of these other teams in 6A.
Okay, so if Palco's Bill Belichick, who's Coach Casper up at Pine Richland?
He might be Sean McVay with the way he runs his offense and everything.
I like that.
I like the Bill Belichick reference, because all of a sudden you're playing Mount Lebanon, right? And you have 10 penalties in the game. You don't feel like yourself. They take away your best weapon. All of a sudden, you say, this doesn't look like my offense. What is going on here? In the second half against Upper St. Clair, Mount Lebanon ran 29 plays to Upper St. Clair's 12. So all of a sudden, you're watching this game in the stands and you think, I don't know who I'm watching here, and all of a sudden the game's over and you lost. That's the Bill Belichick aspect of what Palco's doing. The thing about Pine Richland is, who do you take away? Do you take away Meckler or do you take away Cole Spencer? Because either one of them can beat you in a given game, and especially with Sean McVay over in Pine Richland, that offense is going to know how to move the ball.
And their offensive line is good enough and versatile enough that they can do whatever they need to do to beat. There's sometimes where you could sit there and say, well, really, the best way to beat this defense is we should run 100 counter traps, but we can't block it, so we can't run 100 counter traps. Pine Richland can block whatever they need to draw up, and I think that's a huge advantage for them. I like the Rams in this one, even on the road.
Yeah, I like the Rams as well. It won't be a surprise to either one of us when Mount Lebanon wins this game.
Yeah. Obviously, not a strong prediction, but we'll both go Pine Richland. Turn the page, and we'll go hopping down a couple classes to Jeanette at Greensburg Central Catholic, an old school Westmoreland County rivalry. Glad to see these two. They got separated for a little while.
Yeah.
Back in the same conference, and this is for all the marbles right here.
It could be, yeah. It's Jeanette is playing really well right now. One of the 11 undefeated teams in the WPIAL. Jeanette's win over Olsh last week was their 16th consecutive non-conference win. James Sanders is playing well. Amana Sanders is playing well. Jeanette is doing a lot of things well. Working toward their 22nd undefeated regular season, which is, every time they do it, it's a WPIAL best. Jeanette is rolling right now.
This game always has chaos, though. I feel like every one of these games has there's either like the scores in the 50s, or it's double overtime, or there's some kickoff return at the end. I feel like there's always a chaos factor to this game when you get two teams that are really close to each other, have a lot of history between each other, and both really good football teams. Where does chaos put an advantage in this one?
Yeah, well, Greensburg might thrive on a little bit of chaos. Last week they had a couple of long passing touchdowns. They had a long rushing touchdown. They had a pick six. They had a kickoff return. If all of a sudden Greensburg can do a couple different things to put points on the board quickly or change possession like that, I could see where, Greensburg could have a path to winning this game.
Yeah, I think that's the key. Is it's got to be splash plays.
Right.
And that counts as chaos for me. I still think I like the Jayhawks in this one, but I would not be surprised if this is crazy and close late, because that just seems to be this game's MO.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with Jeanette. Greensburg might be the best third team in a conference, out there. It's just unfortunate they have to play in a conference with Jeanette and Clairton. But yeah, I like what Greensburg's doing, but I think Jeanette's going to get this one.
Okay, so Clairton, you mentioned them. They have this is two huge single A games. They're hosting West Greene, maybe the most dominant offense in WPIAL right now.
Could be, yeah. It's it's tough when you say Ben Jackson had a down week when he had 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. He has 31 touchdowns this year. I have to look it up, but there are probably teams that haven't scored 31 touchdowns through this point of the season. What he's doing is really impressive.
Can the Bears stop him?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's the old adage, especially in these single-A schools, how many athletes do you have on the field at one time? I'm sure West Greene, you're not 7-0 by mistake, but I'll put Aliquippa's athletes against West Greene's athletes any day, and I'll probably pick Clairton coming out of it. It's Ben Jackson will have some yards, but I think Clairton can stop him, or at least contain him throughout the game.
Yeah, this is another game in that it's a serious clash of styles.
Right.
I think West Greene is a dynamic offense. I think Clairton's better on defense. I think they fit together pretty well. I'm struggling with this pick. Which way are you leaning?
I'm going to go with Clairton at home, but that might be the deciding factor. It's, again, like the 6A game. When West Greene wins this one, I won't be surprised.
Yeah.
But, if you're making me pick a team, I'm going to go with Clairton.
I love the Bears. I think I'm going to go West Greene in this one, though. I just think they've got the best player. That offense is really something. And I'm not sure that – I think the way you beat West Greene is with a team that can – keep their offense off the field,
right?
And that's not how I would describe Clairton's offense.
Right.
It's hit or miss. It's big plays, but there's also a lot of 3 and outs, and you can get behind real fast when against that offense. So I'll take West Greene in this one.
Yeah, it's Jackson's a home run hitter for sure, but they're comfortable handing it the ball to him, 10, 12 times in a quarter, in a single drive. If, like you said, all of a sudden you look up the scoreboard, it's 21-0, and West Greene has the ball, you're not doing much against it.
It's trouble. Yeah. It can be trouble real quick. And again, we're going to go to one of these games against an Ohio team. Gateway is going to go to Massillon. Now, this is actually really interesting because Penn Trafford beat Gateway week 1 in what has turned out to be a monumental game in Class 5A.
Right.
Then 2 weeks ago, Penn Trafford went to Massillon, got waxed.
Yep.
And now Gateway is going to go, coming off of, I think, a couple of impressive wins here in the last 2 weeks. What do you make of this one?
Yeah, it's how's your transitive property these days?
Yeah,
A and B and all that stuff. But Gateway is probably the hottest team in the WPIAL right now.
I think so.
That win over the win last week over Franklin Regional, their last 5 games, 213-7. They've allowed 1 touchdown. Against North Hills, it was in garbage time. The JV was playing. I mean, this defense is playing lights out, but I still don't know if that's going to be enough to stop a Massillon team that's ranked as one of the best teams in the entire state of Ohio.
Yeah, and it's a team with a bunch of Division I prospects.
Yeah. Well, we have a Division I prospect to talk about.
I mean, Gateway has Derek Davis, but I'm not sure they have 4 or 5.
Right, for sure.
And I think Massillon is a team that does. They've got actually just a kid that Pitt offered this week, a wide receiver. But several division, and that's sort of their MO for a while now.
Right.
Is that they've been that kind of school. I think did I pick Penn Trafford at Massillon? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
But I think I'm going to take Gateway in this one. I think they're playing incredibly well, and I think one of the things they've figured out is how to get the ball to Davis more regularly, and I think their defense is better than it was early in the season too.
Yeah, their defense is for sure better. Once they got their middle linebacker Stankovic back, this defense has been completely different. He's a quarterback out there, and it lets Derek Davis and some of the other athletes out there be athletes while he's running the show for them. So yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to pick Gateway as well. This is Gateway going into Massillon at the right time. They're hot. They're playing well. They know what they're doing on both sides of the ball. I could see it for sure.
But are you picking it?
Yes.
No,
I'm gonna do it.
All right. When does Massillon come here? Because I want to see this game. I'm not driving to Columbus on Friday night, but I want to see this game. This should be a fantastic one. So much about what's cool about high school football is you play the team down the road,
right?
And it's your guys versus their guys, and people that grow up near each other, and the great rivalries. But these games are fun. I like this kind of thing much better than I do random piecemeal WPIAL non-conference games where we had Laurel, Clairton. Like we hated that game.
Yeah.
I'd much rather see something like this, and I'd rather see it here. I mean, I assume at some point somebody's going to have to come back.
For sure.
But, I'd love to see this game.
Yeah, it's the AAU culture of kids these days. They're used to traveling and playing teams from other areas. It is good to see, Riverside and Elwood plays this week. That's, the game that I always look forward to. We know all the Elwood kids and all the Riverside kids, but it is nice to travel across the border and see what the other state has to offer. And I think we like this matchup so much because it's 2 of the top teams in each state in their classifications.
And we don't get to play Ohio in the Big 33 anymore.
Right.
And so this is kind of a stand. Maybe they should make instead of playing the game, there should be like a little series. Play like 4 games, 2 between teams, and then give it bragging rights. I don't know.
The beginning of the year showcase is nice with the Woodland Hills thing. It'd be nice if they could condense it down to an area,
bring 6 Ohio teams in,
Eastern
or something
Ohio
like that.
and Western Pennsylvania.
That'd be cool. So we're both going with the homer pick, Gateway over Massillon, and at least if we're wrong, we're both wrong. That's all we got on our list of picks. We have some news, though, about the WPIAL Class 2A and 5A championships that we got to hit. They're moving from right down the road here at Robert Morris to Norwin. Somebody goofed with the schedule. And so Robert Morris has a home football game.
Yeah,
that's Saturday.
Tough to play a high school game there with the college game going on.
Yes, and so now Saturday, November 23rd, both games at Norwin. One at noon, one at 6. I believe the 2A is at noon.
I think the 2A is at noon.
And the 5A is at 6.
The 5A game was originally going to be Friday.
Yeah.
But now because they both got it to Norwin, they're just going to play them both that day. They're going to clear out the whole stadium and everything.
Yeah, so separate tickets.
Holy smokes.
Interesting. But, there's no good solution for these 2 leftover championship games.
No.
Until, I don't know, something changes. It's going to be a sort of a anticlimactic finish for the championship game that's not games that aren't played at Heinz Field. Hopefully, I believe we're coming to the end of this rules cycle, and I believe that the powers that be in the WPIAL are trying to find a way to rectify this to get us back to something where everybody can be in the same place at the same time. This is just another symptom of Robert Morris is a great facility.
It is, and it'd be nice, even like Geneva College is a great place to watch a high school football game. It's nice if you can keep it at a college. I don't think I've ever been to Norway. I'm sure it's a nice place, but it'd be great if they could contain it into some of the bigger, nicer facilities.
So that's obviously in the future. This week you'll be at Moon, Upper St. Clair, coming into town. If you're on your way to that game, stop here, Walnut Grill in Settlers Ridge. Have a snack, have a drink, meet up with Steve, or if you can't make it there, follow him on Twitter at SteveBrenner9, and all the rest of the updates at PGH Sports Now. And we'll do this again a couple more times, and good game this weekend. So for Steve Brenner, I'm Alan Saunders. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.